Gopichana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Prachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prachachana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jayorata Madhava Kunja Bihari Rata Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayorata Madhava Kunja Bihari Rata Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Madhava ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gu Premanande Hari Bol. Jayam Vaiṣṇava Paramahamsa Parirājakarāya Sadhusatashmadesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Go Premanandi Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayadiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 10, today text 25. Navikriya Vishva Suritsakasya Samyena Vitabhimate Stavapi Mahat Vimanat Svakritat Timadrin Nankshyatya Durat Apishulapanihi Navikriya Vishva Suritsakasya Samyena Vitabhimate Stavapi Mahat Vimanat Svakritat Timadrin Nankshyatya Darat Apishulapanihi. Navikriya Vishva Suritsakasya Samyena Vitabhimate Stavapi Mahat Vimanat Svakritat Timadrin Nankshyatya Durat Apishulapani. Navikriya Vishva Suritsakasya Samyena Vitabhimate Stavapi Mahat Vimanat Svakritat Timadrin Nakshyatya Durat Apishulapani. Vaishnavis. Navikriya Vishva Suritsakasya Samyena Vitabhimate Stavapi Mahat Vimanat Svakritat Timadrin Nankshyatya Durat Apishulapani. Na, not. Vikriya, material transformation. Vishvasurit, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is a friend to everyone. Shakasya, of you, the friend. Samyena, because of your mental equilibrium. Vita apimate, who has completely forsaken the bodily conception of life. Tava, your, api, indeed, mahat vimanat, of insulting a great devotee. Svakritat, from my own activity. He, certainly, madrik, a person like me. Nankshati, will be destroyed. Adurat, very soon. Api, certainly. Shulapanihi, even though as powerful as Lord Shiva. Shulapani. Shulapani. Shiva. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O my dear Lord, you are the friend of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the friend of all living entities. You are therefore equal to everyone, and you are free from the bodily conception. Although I have committed an offense by insulting you, I know that there is no loss or gain for you due to my insult. You are fixed in your determination, but I have committed an offense. Because of this, even though I may be as strong as Lord Shiva, I shall be vanquished without delay due to my offenses at the lotus feet of a Vaiṣṇava. Purport. Maharaj Rahugana was very intelligent and conscious of the inauspicious effects arising from insulting a Vaiṣṇava. He was therefore very anxious to be excused by Jadabharat. Following in the footsteps of Maharaj Rahugana, everyone should be very cautious not to commit any offense at the lotus feet of a Vaiṣṇava. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur in the Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhyam 13 says, Shulapani samayati bhakta ninda kare bhagavata pramana tatapi shrika mare hena vaishnavera ninde sarvakya nahaya seyanre adhapata sarva shastra kai. Even if one is as strong as Lord Shiva, who carries a trident in his hand, one will nonetheless fall down from his spiritual position if he tries to insult a Vaiṣṇava. That is the verdict of all Vedic scriptures. He also says this in Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya 22. Vaishnavera ninda karibeka gharagana tararaksha samritya naikeko najana shulapani samayati Vaishnavera ninde tatapiya nasya jaya kahe shastra brinde iha namaniya ye sujana nindakare janma janme se papishta daiva dosha mare. One who blasphemes a Vaishnava cannot be protected by anyone, even if a person is as strong as Lord Shiva. If he blasphemes a Vaishnava, he is sure to be destroyed. This is the verdict of all Shastras. If one does not care for the verdict of the Shastra and dares blaspheme a Vaishnava, he suffers life after life because of this. Thus end Bhaktivedanta purports of the 5th canto, 10th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Discussion Between Jadabharat and Maharaj Rahugana. Hare Krishna. Om Gyanati Mirandasya Kinanchana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Namo Bistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Just read the text again. O my dear Lord, you are the friend of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the friend of all living entities. You are therefore equal to everyone, and you are free from the bodily conception. Although I have committed an offense by insulting you, I know that there is no loss or gain for you due to my insult. You are fixed in your determination, but I have committed an offense. Because of this, even though I may be as strong as Lord Shiva, I shall be vanquished without delay due to my offense at all the feet of a Vaiṣṇava. So this ends this chapter after this, the conversation between King Rahugana and Chadabharat, and here King Rahugana makes his statement that although he was very offensive, Chadabharat is not disturbed by that. And he said also, like, you call me thick or thin or strong or weak, I'm a spiritual soul. Doesn't affect me. Which is in itself quite an interesting point, no? In this world, if someone tells something to you which you don't like, then you immediately become, how can you say like this? No? Like the ego is reacting. And someone tells you, you're thick, you're fat, you're thin, you have too big nose, too big ears, or you're black, you're white, you're just a Matachi. Or you're, you're a proud Prabhu, or you're a homo, you're a hetero. So many, you're a Hindu, you're Christian. There are so many designations that we have so many designations, so many identifications connected to our body. And if someone tells us something which we don't like, we immediately feel offended, and we defend ourselves, and so on. But here, Chadabharat, because he's truly on the transcendental platform, I mean, you can't insult him. Actually, it's not possible, because he doesn't identify with the body and with his roles. He always is fixed. Here it says he's fixed in determination. He's fixed in his Krishna consciousness. He's fixed in his understanding that I'm an eternal soul. That's why no one can actually offend him. Let me open the window to get some fresh air. Thank you. And so that's one side of the story, that Chadabharata. So in one way, maybe we can just open and then close again later. So in one sense we could say, well, Chadabharat doesn't take any offense, so then what's the big deal? No? We could say like that. What's the big deal? Since he doesn't take an offense, then whatever King Rahugana says, it's not affecting. But that's not how it works. A Vaiṣṇava might be very forgiving, and a Vaiṣṇava might not take it so serious if someone offends him, but there is another person who doesn't like it so much. Who is that? Krishna. Krishna is in the heart, and Krishna sees if we offend his devotee, then Krishna is very, very unhappy. And there is a nice song in this regard here. This is from a poet named Sri Sanatan Das. And this is the song is called Guru Vandana. It's not our Guru Vandana, it's another Guru Vandana, prayers to the Guru. And it glorifies the Guru. So I'll just sing some of the part here. Ashraya Kariye Vando Shri Guru Charana Jaya Hote Mile Pai Krishna Prema Dana Taking refuge of Sri Guru, I bow at his feet, O brother. By this, the treasure of Krishna Prem is attained. So by accepting a Guru, accepting a Vaiṣṇava, one can attain Krishna Prem. For the deliverance of the Jivas, Nanda's son, Sri Hari, is manifesting the world assuming the form of Sri Guru. So Krishna himself appears as a Guru. Krishna manifests in the form of a spiritual master. Knowing that in glory Guru and Krishna are one, accept Sri Guru's orders in your heart, considering them to be the divine reality. So whatever Guru tells you, the instruction of the spiritual master should be understood as, divine reality, and the disciple makes it its life and soul. Whoever has firm faith in the divine wisdom of Sri Guru's words resides eternally in Braj Bhumi. If you have faith in Guru's Vani, Guru Vakye, then actually you're already in the spiritual world. Whoever courts the pleasure of Sri Guru Dev in all respects will not become disheartened by any obstacles. So one who is always engaged in pleasing the spiritual master, he will be not defeated. But then it says here, Krishna Rushta Hoile, Guru Raki Peare Pare, Guru Rushta Hoile, Krishna Raki Pare Nare. Here says the word Rushta. What Rushta means? Rushta means angry. If one makes Krishna angry, Sri Guru can protect him. But if one makes Sri Guru angry, even Krishna cannot protect him. That's an interesting one, no? Like we do service on the altar. Some of your pujaris just recently started, right? Doing puja service. So then when we are on the altar, we have to be very careful not to commit an offense. Seva Aparādha, an offense towards Krishna. No? When we dress, maybe we put a needle, we want to fix a turban, and then we stick the needle into the head. This happens. So then, what happened? Krishna will not be pleased. No, Krishna will be angry. Oh, why do you stick, This gives pain. So we make Krishna angry. But then, when we sincerely offer prayers to our spiritual master, and we take shelter of the spiritual master, then the spiritual master will tell Krishna, this pujari is a very new fellow, he doesn't know. Don't take it so seriously. She's a nice devotee. Then Krishna, okay. Then Krishna will give up his anger and will accept us again, because by Guru's mercy we are performing service. So that's here the principle of Guru Rushta Hoila Krishna Raki Be Pare. If one makes Krishna angry, Guru can protect. But if it goes the other way around, when we make Guru angry, and in that sense we can also say make the Vaiṣṇava angry, then who can protect us? Because Krishna will not be satisfied. Krishna will not be pleased, and he will not protect us. He will protect his devotees that we offended. And then we are lost. We don't have anyone. So that same principle is expressed here in this text, and especially, King Rahugana himself says it. He says that Madrik, a person like me, nan kshyati will be destroyed. When will he be destroyed? Adurat, very soon. It's not that it takes too long. Very soon he will be destroyed. Certainly. And Shulapanihi, even if someone is powerful as Lord Shulapani, which is another name of Shiva. No? And Shiva is quite a powerful person. Quite. He's the most powerful person in the universe, right? And of course, King Rahugana is certainly not as powerful as Shiva. But even if he would be as powerful as Shiva, nevertheless, he will be destroyed because he offended a Vaiṣṇava. In this case, he offended Jada Bharat. So therefore, and then Prabhupada quotes here very nicely from the Chaitanya Bhagavat, where the same point is repeated twice. That all the verdict, all the verdict of all the Vedic scriptures, all the Shastras, they make the same point. Doesn't matter who you are, if you make an offense, you will be destroyed. So this is a very important principle. Of course, we are talking about Vaiṣṇava Aparādha, and we have talked many times about this topic. So let's see whether we remember something. What is the analogy given? What is Vaiṣṇava Aparādha compared to? Mad elephant, very good. Hati Mata. Hati Mata. Hati is an elephant, Mata means mad. A mad elephant. Now we have some devotees taking care of our garden, right? Vrindavan Chandra, I think Yamuna, you also doing some gardening. Plant now we have nice flowers starting to grow. Nice. Imagine an elephant starts to trample in the garden around. Of course it doesn't really happen. But no, just imagine if an elephant would be there. In the Zurich Zoo they just got a new elephant baby. So there are elephants in Zurich. As we last class we spoke about the tigers. So there are elephants. But even an elephant, and it says Hati Mada, like an mad elephant. Like elephants are already, they can destroy. But if an elephant becomes mad, nobody can stop him, and that elephant will just destroy everything. And so Vaiṣṇava Aparādha is compared to mad elephant in a sense that once you commit an aparādha towards a Vaiṣṇava, then your devotional service will be destroyed, your devotional creeper. And of course, in some way we say that bhakti is eternal, and especially, whatever you do is never lost. That's another statement of Shastra. But if you commit Vaiṣṇava Aparādha, that's one way, or most probably the only way, how you actually can destroy or at least stop your progress on devotional service. Because, as we just explained, Krishna will not be pleased. And why is that? Because Krishna, the Vaishnavas are very, very dear to Krishna. Yes.
What's happened when some person make always offense, but not extra, and the argument is always, I'm sick, I have no way to make other decisions, and by comporting this because of sick.
Of course, there is the law. The universal laws, they're not blind. The intention certainly is also important. It's taken in consideration. What is the intention of someone? On the other side, Unwissen heißt, schützt vor Strafe nicht, wie heißt es? No, if a fire will burn, right? And regardless whether an adult comes and touches the fire or a small child, the fire will still burn the small child. The fire will not consider, this is just a small boy, he does not know that I'm dangerous, so now I will not burn him. No, it's not like that. If you come in contact with fire, he will be burned. So, yes, there is, Krishna is there, and there is, the intention is also taken in consideration. At the same time, these laws are there, so, and maybe more to that later. But we spoke about, we just raised the question, why is that? Because the devotees are very dear to Krishna. So, do you remember what are different ways we can offend a Vaishnava? The Skanda Purana describes 6. 6 ways we can offend the Vaishnava.
Blaspheme.
Blaspheme. Yes, that's like the classic, like the and the most probably the most common, especially nowadays on Facebook.
Can I save you?
Yes.
To kill him and to not greet him when he's coming and to not feel happy about his presence.
Yes. Yes.
And to ignore.
Let's read them here. Killing a Vaishnava is an offense. I mean, that's pretty obvious. You can't kill a Vaishnava, okay? I mean, you can't kill anyone, but if you kill a Vaishnava, then you're not even supposed to kill an ant, what to speak of a Vaishnava. So Indra had to do penances at Manasa Sarovar for thousands of years to become free from his offense of killing Vritrasura. Indra killed Vritrasura. And although Vritrasura had the form of a demon, and as the king of the Devas, it was his duty to defend the Devas and kill the demon, Vritrasura, but actually Vritrasura was a great devotee. So then he had to, do 1,000 years of penances at Manasa Sarovar to get free from the offense of killing a Vaishnava. Then to blaspheme a Vaishnava is another Aparādha. Who is an example in scripture who blasphemed a Vaishnava? Okay, yes. Yes, that was Parikshit. In a way, innocent. I mean, yeah, it's not a nice gesture, but it was taken as offense, yeah. But there is one who is much more verbal in his blasphemy. Daksha. No? Daksha, when he entered the assembly hall and everyone stood up and greeted him, Lord Shiva remained seated. Why did Shiva remain seated? He was in meditation. He was meditating about the Supreme Lord. But Daksha couldn't tolerate, because he didn't really realize who Shiva is from the spiritual point of view. He just thought, but he is my son-in-law. I'm his father-in-law. He married to my daughter. So I'm an authority, a respectable person. And he just remained seated while I enter. He has to get up and greet me. Why he's not doing? And then he kind of blasphemed Shiva like anything. He said things like, why did I give my daughter to such a person like Shiva? My daughter has eyes, lotus eyes like a deer, and I gave my daughter to a man who is just like a monkey, has eyes like a monkey. And he is a very dirty fellow, he's smeared with ashes from the cremation ground, and he's never taking bath, and he's full of this dust, and snakes and scorpions around his arms and heads. He doesn't follow any rules and regulations. What kind of a fellow? Why did I give my daughter to such a person? So he publicly blasphemed Shiva in many ways. So that was, it is an example of blasphemy by words. And of course, what was his destiny? He lost his head and was replaced with a goat head later on. Then to be envious of a Vaishnava or to become angry with a Vaishnava is another offense. Who was an envious fellow? Chaitanya Charitamrita was envious towards one of the Panchatattva members. Krishna Prabhu is not here, he would know. He's very much into Chaitanya Bhagavat. Yes, Gopala Chapal. Gopala Chapala was an envious Brahmana, and he was envious towards Srivas Thakur, because in Srivas Thakur's house they were doing what? Yeah, Prem Nam, Harinam Sankirtan. And it was very a secret gathering of Vaishnavas. They came together in the middle of a night, and they were singing the whole night, kirtan. And no one was allowed to enter. Only, what was the qualification to enter? Prema. It's Prem Nam Sankirtan. Basically, only those who have, love of Krishna, they were part. That's this kind of an exclusive kirtan mela. I think we wouldn't have so many participants if that's the Nam Sevanam. Okay, next Saturday. This Saturday we have Nam Sevanam festival, but only those who have prema can come. But it was a very exclusive, like only the members, close associates of Mahaprabhu. And of course, later on, Mahaprabhu brought the holy name to the streets, and it was shared with everyone, full of compassion. But in the initial stage, it was in a very private setting, and there was a reason for that. They wanted to relish the holy name together. And Mahaprabhu, build up his Sankirtan movement by first, relishing with the Panchatattva and the members. But many people became envious, and they kind of, what are they doing? And they're so sentimental. And they wanted to, and people were like appreciating them, but some became envious. So and then what did Gopal Chapala do?
He spread some rumors.
Yeah, he spread rumors, and also he put some plate with paraphernalia meant for worshipping Kali. And that means, there's some meat, there's some intoxicants, and puts in front of the door. So that everyone can see, they're doing these kind of things. Imagine, like you're living in a brahmachari ashram, and everyone knows that you're a paka brahmachari, nice, very chaste brahmacharini, very fixed. And then someone, puts, some hashish in your, somewhere on in your thing, or some beer, or some Playboy magazine somewhere. And then it shows, you see, this brahmachari, he looks at Playboy magazine and he smokes ganja. Very mean, very. And then how would you react? No. That's not me. That's not from me. No. That would be our reaction, right? I mean, I would certainly, if someone would do like that, I would say, no. Like sometimes they hack your Telegram. My Telegram account was hacked recently. Like someone sent like a link. Hey, there's a picture of you. Have a look. And then I received that message from a Maharaj who just visited. I thought, oh, Maharaj sends a picture. So I clicked, and then I landed up on some pornographic platform. I was like, oh my God, immediately closed it again. and then I all of a sudden I saw my account went crazy, and I understood that my account was hacked. And then from my address, all the people that I have connected, they have received the same message. Everyone receives a message from me. Hey, I have a picture, have a look. So of course that's a little different, but of course I immediately try to notify everyone. Hey, don't open it. This is a hack. My account was hacked. Don't open. It's not from me. Anyway, but this is just from real life. But imagine something happened like this. Usually we try to defend ourselves. No, that's not me. What did Srivas Thakur do? He said, just everyone see, when in the morning he opened the door, oh, just everyone see, this is what we're doing every night. And he again closed the door. Completely detached, it's like, we can't really understand. Completely detached from, what people think or what people say. We are so much concerned how people see us, like I want to be seen in that way, people should see me in that way. We are so much concerned. And he completely detached. If people don't know me and they think I do this kind of thing, let them think. And because Srivas Thakur had such an exemplary, spotless, pure character, nobody believed it anyway. No, he didn't have to even defend himself because he was so pure. Everyone was like, what? Shrivas? No. This is anyway not true. Someone must be envy. So it's interesting, yeah. But yeah, to be envy or to be angry on a Vaishnava is another offense. Then, so to envy is an offense, and then angry, like who was angry on a Vaishnava? I mean, yeah. Hiranyakashipu, yeah, become very angry. Yes. Yes, and of course he tried to kill a Vaishnava, right? attempt murder several times, not only once, and very not by accident or so, but very, yeah. I mean, Hiranyakashipu, you can tick all the boxes here. Shaubara Muni, yeah, Durvasa Muni is a good example also. Yeah, Durvasa Muni is an example. He became. Shaubara Muni also. Shaubara Muni, he was meditating and then he was disturbed by Garuda. Because Garuda was there in the water and catching some snakes or some fish. And Shaubara Muni became disturbed. He became angry with Garuda. And then, because he offended Garuda, then later on he fell down from his position. And then Indra failed to show respect to his guru Brihaspati and lost his power because of that. So not showing respect is another offense. And then even not feeling joyful upon seeing a Vaishnava is another form of aparādha. If we see a Vaishnava, Haribol! No, we should immediately, when we see devotees, we should be very happy to see Vaishnava. Of course, sometimes we go to a program and then we say, oh no, this Mataji is also here. Oh no, that Prabhu now plays Mridanga. So we are not happy to see them, right? So according to the Skanda Purana, that's already an offense. Because Vaishnavas are very, very rare. No, they are very special. Who told that? I think Jananidas Prabhu just gave this example. Atmanivedan Maharaj instructed him. Remember? That he was disturbed by someone, and then Atmanivedan Maharaj said, imagine you're in the desert and someone gives you some water. Or
and it's like very hot and you're like dry, and then in the middle of the desert you see this cool cup of water.
So in the middle of a desert there's a cup of water. I mean, how much? I mean, first of all, how rare it is to find fresh water in the desert. It's very difficult to find fresh water in the desert. And when you find it, you're so relieved and you're so grateful to have it. So that's how we should see Vaishnavas. It's very, very rare, and therefore we should be very, very appreciative. And we can easily forget it because we're just surrounded by Vaishnavas, and then we see them every day, and then we start to see their faults and mistakes. So how can we, I mean, two things we can say, and of course we say that in every class when we speak about Vaiṣṇava Aparādha, but how to overcome Vaiṣṇava Aparādha, there's two things. Yes. Huh? That's more how to avoid, yes, but yeah, that's good. I mean, if you, let's say you have committed offenses, then what do? You have to apologize and because and serve, because just apologize is not enough. Otherwise it's just lip service. You just say, yes, I'm sorry. No, I'm so sorry. Everyone can just say, I'm sorry. I mean, even that is difficult sometimes to say sorry. But in order to show the person that you really feel sorry, then it's good to offer some service. Do something to please that person. Give a gift. Offer some service. Make sure the person understands you really feel sorry. So that's the two things. Ask forgiveness and serving that Vaiṣṇava. That's how we can try to make it, nullify the offense. And yes, the best thing, and then in order to protect ourselves and in order to make sure that we don't commit aparādha, then yes, we should serve Vaishnavas, we should glorify Vaishnavas, we should try to see the good in the Vaishnavas. Try to see the good in everyone. And of course that's the big task. That's why Mahaprabhu says, Trinada pisu nichena tarura pisa ishnana amanina manadena kirtanya sadahari. That's, we want to, bhakti means to chant the holy names, and it means kirtanya sadahari. But in order to perform bhakti, we need to be qualified by being humble, like a straw in the street, being tolerant than a tree, and to be always be ready to offer respect without expecting respect. And that's something we need to develop and cultivate, because usually we're just the opposite. We demand respect, everyone should see our glories. That's why we have Instagram and all this social media. Now I'm starting a YouTube channel. Very dangerous business actually. Pratishta. Just see how, I that's the reason why I never did it for so many years. I mean, one of the reasons. You like to present yourself, show yourself. So there's always this subtle energy there. It's very dangerous, that you try to want to be respected by others. So one has to be careful and have the proper motivation. So yeah, usually we always hankering for respect, and we always think we are the best, and then our tolerance is very little. Someone says something a little bit, immediately we become offended. But Vaiṣṇava is just the opposite. Vaiṣṇava is never seeking any respect. There is no need. Why is there no need for a Vaiṣṇava to seek respect? Because he's satisfied in his heart. He's completely satisfied. He feels Krishna's presence. He knows that his Guru is with him, and his main goal is to please Guru and Krishna and serve the Vaishnavas. And that's why he doesn't look for anything outside. He's at peace. But if people are not at peace, if people have low self-esteem, they're not satisfied, they're frustrated, and they try to get attention from outside, and they're looking for respect here and there. But the Vaishnava is peaceful. He doesn't need anything outside. And then because he understands the greatness of Krishna, because he really understands how great Krishna is, because he understands who Guru is, he feels naturally very small. Not in a bad way, but just understanding the glory of Guru and Krishna, and then seeing himself small, but being happy to be connected with Krishna. And then also he is very tolerant, because he's connected with Krishna, and that gives him spiritual strength, so he can tolerate many obstacles outside. So these qualities we need to develop, and only then we will have respectful dealings with other devotees and Vaishnavas and people in general. And then we will be safe from this mad elephant offense. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Any questions or comments? That comes at the end. If at all, it's not needed. Yes.
Thank you so much for that. When I observe myself, I sometimes see very much that I'm not pleased about seeing a Vaishnava. And if the cause is because he hurts your ego, of course, if you don't have ego, then you will not get hurt. But he somehow hurt you or hurt other devotees. What should we do then? If we don't feel happy about the person, because they did something.
Well, hate the sin, but don't hate the sinner. Like, without mentioning names, but yesterday there was a post, the Pope left his body yesterday, right? Franciscus, yes, he left his body yesterday. And all over the world people, mourning, they're feeling sad about the departure, and they also expressing their appreciation. And then some devotee, making a very heavy statement. Oh, he was a meat eater and this and that. Like I find it a bit. It's a little harsh, to make such a statement. Because yes, Prabhupada was very strong with when it comes to meat eating, and he was a spiritual master, a guru, an acharya, and he also was heavy in order to teach. Why he was so heavy with the Christians about meat eating? He wanted to teach by example and by speech. He's a sadhu. It's his duty to also, speak the truth. Okay, but we as a followers, we should be careful with how we, express ourselves. And then also, even though Prabhupada was strong in his words, but he was very appreciative of every living entity. And in fact, in 1986, Prabhupada even wrote a letter to the Pope that time. And, sending a letter to the Pope saying that, dear His Holiness, the Pope, he addressed him very respectfully, and he said, I'm a Swami from India, and I have already established 8 temples now. 68, very early on. I've established 8 temples, and I'm traveling around the world and trying to establish. And I would like to meet you. If you think this is beneficial, we can meet. And Prabhupada was interesting to cooperate with the Pope. I don't think he never get an answer, but nevertheless, it shows that Prabhupada showed respect. So yeah, we should. I think as a followers of Prabhupada, we should, be strict with ourselves, but then with others, we also should, and see the good, respect, especially someone who is a leader of a religious group. So yeah, I would say. Hate the sin, but don't hate the sinner. One should discriminate. Okay, this activity is not good, but the person might be still. And that sometimes Hare Krishna devotees are sometimes really like black-white. Someone eats meat, he's a demon. You can't. It's not going to work like that. Well, I remember, like my Guru Maharaj, he had a friendship with the Dalai Lama, and Dalai Lama visited some of his conferences. And once Dalai Lama visited an ISKCON temple, and there was a picture of Dalai Lama, putting a garland around Prabhupada's neck. And again, in social media, one devotee, oh, how dare this meat eater, touching Prabhupada's murti, he should not even go there, like such, strong statements, I personally don't think that's very healthy. Yes, we shouldn't eat meat, and we have many things to say about that. I agree. But anyway, there's already a lot of hatred and hate amongst religious people. I don't think we need to add on that. I think Vaiṣṇava philosophy has a different way to perceive this. Anyway, Hare Krishna. Yes.
And how is it like in the higher level? Like if you are actually in a situation where your service is being sabotaged, basically, with malignant intentions, very egoistic, very Vaiṣṇava, like this same devotee, he has a history of doing such things. And you're sort of kind of set up to commit offenses. The system is rigged for you to become Vaiṣṇava Aparādha. Because
well, you always have a choice. But that's the thing. You always have a choice. You can either take the role of the victim and blame everyone else, or you can understand there must be Krishna must be also involved. Nothing happened without the will of Krishna. And maybe I need to learn something here.
And how do then?
And of course, I mean, basically your question goes into the direction of where is the line? Like where do I should just tolerate, being humble, and where should I defend myself? Like in an ideal situation, in ideal society, you would have Vaishnavas next to you who stand up and protect you. And then you don't have to do anything. Then you can just simply tolerate. Because the Vaishnavas around you, they will protect you. That's the ideal Vaishnava society. That's why it always says, if someone is attacking you, if someone is, unjust to you, if it's directed towards you, you're just tolerant. If it's directed towards others, then you speak up. I mean, that in principle, that's the general principle. There is injustice. If there is something which is not the way it should be, if it's directed towards you, you tolerate. If it's directed towards others, you don't tolerate. You step in and make sure that the person is protected. And if everyone would follow that principle, then then you're taken care of. Then you don't have to. But then, of course, sometimes we're in a situation where people treat us unjust and nobody cares. Nobody's doing anything about it, and then you're alone. And yes, maybe sometimes you have to also step up. And of course, there are certain also maybe borders. If they are crossed, then maybe you have to step up for yourself also. Yes, this is a very sensitive issue, and as I said, it's not black-white. There's many different aspects to it. And we take Yamuna's last question at the end.
So if you see that someone tells you something and that they got hurt and so on, or you see something, but they're like, don't do anything. So should you still do something to protect this devotee, or should you respect this opinion?
You see someone else being hurt, being disrespected, and you see it and you actually want to take action, but that the person says, no, don't take action. What should you do? Should you respect the person's request, or you should nevertheless go to the temple president and tell everything? Well, I wouldn't want to give a blank answer to this. I guess depending on the situation and the person. If there is a good reason for not, okay, that's maybe there. But if you see that the person is just actually hurting him or herself by that not speaking up, maybe it's your duty to say something. But that might depend on the situation. Yeah. Okay, Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Brinda ki jai. Vanchakalpadurupascha Kripasi.